Well, everyone, we have one of the beefiest news videos we've had in a long time. Something like 20 plus different stories. Lots of timestamps down below. We have a lot to go over. Some of the news today is pretty great. We have some brand new game announcements. We have some release date announcements as well. We have some stuff around Pokopia, whatever the hell it is. Because look, we get release date today. We get a new trailer coming on Thursday. We also get some weird news on the pricing, the file size, and Nintendo's publishing a game key card, so we got to talk about that as well. More than that, we have some news on Pikmin 4. We have some news on just a whole bunch of stuff. I can't even, dude, my mind's having a hard time processing how much we have to talk about. So let's go ahead and just remind you, we are giving away 5 copies. That's right, 5 copies of Kirby Air Riders. All you gotta do to enter is go down to the link in the pinned comment or the description, and let's go ahead and just dive right in. Our first story we got to get into, this deals with a brand new game announced by Arc System Works coming to Nintendo Switch and Switch 2, obviously, because backwards compatibility, and obviously other platforms as well. This was announced in today's State of Play. So let's go ahead and dive in, and what we're talking about here is Damon and Baby. This is the English teaser. I'm just going to go ahead and hit play here and let you guys see the whole trailer, because look, I haven't really seen the trailer yet either.
The grand and mighty Demon King Damon embarks on a journey with a human child? Follow the adventure of the unlikely pair in Damon and Baby. Experience an innovation on the action RPG genre with a fusion between exploration-based action and twin-stick shooting. Defeat enemies and solve gimmicks to explore an extensive world. In between quests, you return to the base to power up Damon. Level up and learn new skills to customize the action to your own style. From handguns to machine guns, shotguns, rocket launchers, and more. Wield your weapon of choice to take down enemies. Level up and find new items before stepping out into unexplored territory. Powerful bosses stand in your path. Defeat your foes with your newly obtained power and tactics. You can team up with another player in co-op. Take control of Damon's canine companion to assist in battle. From angels to grim reapers, meet a colorful cast of characters along your travels. What fate awaits our pair at the end of their epic journey? Experience the moving tale of the Demon King and Child. Damon and Baby, coming early 2026.
All right, there you go. Damon and Baby coming early 2026 to Switch, PS5, PS4, and Steam. So there you go, a brand new announcement today by Arc System Works, and that's not the only announcements we have today. We have some more stuff to get into. Before we dive in, I just want to tell you about an update Nintendo gave to Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. They have now fixed the backwards compatibility on Switch 2. So moving forward, it should work perfectly on Switch 2 after the update today. The issue around the game, it actually ran perfectly fine on Switch 2. The issue with Xenoblade Chronicles X was that the voice acting would desync with the actual characters, so it would be very off-putting, especially in cutscenes. That has now been fixed, so I just wanted to get that note in there quick before we get to another trailer. This one for a game already announced, but hey, it's always nice to get more, and that is, well, none other than Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. This is what they call a follow-up trailer. Let's give it a watch quick.
We made a promise to solve the world's mysteries, didn't we?
I know I'd regret missing out on the fun far more than any bother we might get ourselves into.
I haven't thought about it, really. I should try doing all the things that humans do.
To find my own purpose, something only I can do.
Did he prevail? Doth he yet rule over this realm?
This is the stuff! You and me battling side by side again. Flame Splitter! There's no time to waste. Here's to one last adventure.
All right, that was the Dragon Quest VII remake. I'm really excited for that remake. I honestly think it's a nice progression from Dragon Quest 1 plus 2 and obviously 3 2D HD. I think it's a really nice one to get into. Now, this next one's also a game that's previously announced for Nintendo Switch 2. We're, of course, talking about Fatal Frame 2, the Crimson Butterfly remake, and it's coming to PlayStation as well, but we have a brand new trailer. Let's go ahead and watch this trailer in all of its trailer glory.
So this is Minakami Village. A ritual so forbidden that speaking of it is taboo. And a place that must never be seen. If I could capture it with a camera obscura.
Hurry, leave the village. If you can get out of the village, you'll be able to escape your fate.
Don't let go. Together.
The twins, where are they? The ritual. Why did you run? Accept the fate of the sacrifice!
The festival failed. It's all because we ran away. Mayu will be together forever.
Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly, Remake.
Shall we begin?
All right, there we go. The game's coming out March 12th, 2026. March is actually a really packed month. We have like Crimson Desert that month, Pokopia and others. It's just a really, really packed month. That being said, we got to get to Nintendo dropping a system update and some really interesting things they did with this system update, version 21.0.0. We have a few things to go over. First, we'll just go over the basic patch notes as available over here on Nintendo Life, and you see added symbols above software icons displayed on the home menu to indicate whether the software is a physical or digital version. When multiple software downloads are in progress, there is now an option to cancel all. If a console bundle includes software download, there will now be an icon to receive software. It will display if the system is connected to the internet. The icon will launch the eShop and you can proceed to download the software. You can still receive the software by navigating to the eShop from the home menu directly. When finding users to send a friend request to, the search for users you played with option under Add Friend now includes people you've interacted with in your friends' game chat rooms. Added the ability to download data for a virtual game card, even if the use online license setting is turned off. This option is available in the options of a virtual game card when accessed via virtual game cards on the home menu. The following updates have been made for game chat. The game will not automatically go to sleep while chatting. The option to turn off chat audio panning has been added. Chat can continue if the console goes from TV mode dock to handheld or table mode, where the scenario changes from the internet from a wired connection to a wireless. The following updates have been made in accessibility in system settings. When using text-to-speech is turned on, the description of the predictive conversation character on the Japanese keyboard is now read out loud, and the upper limit of text-to-speech speed was increased from 300% to 400%. The following updates have been made to audio and system settings. The ability to change the audio mode from a wireless connected Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller was added. Stable or low latency can be selected. Low latency will reduce audio latency when compared to stable. may be subject to interference in some wireless environments. The following updates have been made to display in system settings. HDR output was renamed to system screen HDR output. Improved the screen display when using adjust screen size to make it easier to adjust. The following updates have been made to notifications. The option Platinum Point notification was renamed to Nintendo Switch Online notification. The following updates were made to the system in system settings. Stop charging around 90% was renamed and updated to stop charging around 80 to 90%. Thai and Polish were added to the list of options under language. Actually, I think it's Thai and Polish, my bad there. They'll only be available in software when it supports the respective language, and there was obviously general system stability improvements. Now, one of the big things when we're talking about this is obviously some of the finer details that need to be discovered by outsiders, such as, Oatmeal Dome. He talks about the audio. It could be unstable, and he kind of shows off a screenshot of what it looks like where you can change the modes of the Pro Controller audio. So I do really like that. I think that is just a really nice addition. And beyond all of that, we have some stuff here as well about the HDR update. So what they actually did is they added a peak brightness thing down here so you can actually track where you are when adjusting the HDR. I think this is a great addition. I don't think this really fixes the overall way in which the system, in which you can adjust your HDR, but it does at least give people a way to be like, hey, if you're, making videos on what's the best HDR settings for Switch 2 for this particular TV, we can say, hey, just set the peak brightness to whatever that number is. It actually just makes it easier for people to share what the best settings are for HDR on particular TVs. So this is a very welcome update. Instead of being like, hey, let's push it all the way to the bottom, and then it's like 75,000 clicks up to get to the right setting for this TV. That's the way that the how-to guides work now. Now we can just say, hey, set the peak brightness to this, and that will take care of the problem. So it is better than what they launched with. There's still better solutions out there. I'd like to see it. Also, I just wanted to show you guys what the icons look like for physical and digital. So you can see here, this is what a physical cartridge icon looks like. You can see it with Cyberpunk here. That is a physical cartridge. And then you can see digital here. Looks like the icon that we're all used to seeing. So there you guys go. That's pretty cool. I'm glad to see these updates. It's just like a quality of life update. Now we got to get to today's controversial story, and it's all around Pokopia. Oh my gosh. Pokemon Pokopia gets a March 2026 release date. Brand new trailer is coming this week as well. So Thursday, November 13, 2025, there's actually a trailer. The biggest thing here, though, is obviously the release date. The $70 price point. You can pre-order it right now in the eShop. And this. And where does this image come from? This is being shared around. What is going on? What's up with the word sample? Well, this actually comes from an update from Nintendo. I'm a little confused on this update. I don't know what Nintendo was thinking, but I do think it's worth talking about. And that update comes from this video right here. So it says using game key cards on Switch 2. And as we full screen this, you'll see, okay, here's Dunkin' Bonanza. That's not a key card. And then here's Pokopia. Now they are using the word sample. Now, the word sample could mean it's not a key card in every region. We have to understand Pokopia in Japan is not being published by Nintendo, but it is being published by Nintendo in other territories. So it is entirely possible that Pokemon Pokopia is a key card in some countries and full cartridge in others. We don't really know. What we do know is there is the word sample there, and this is the first time we see Nintendo put the word sample in official stuff like this, so it's very confusing. I don't really understand why Nintendo put the word sample there. It's either a key card or it's not, but maybe it's because it's not a key card in every territory. But then if it's not a key card in every territory, then why wouldn't you use an example of something that is a key card in every territory? So this does kind of make you believe Pokopia, as you see here, is a key card game. Now, what's interesting about that is a lot of people are saying that Nintendo lied because Nintendo said they had no plans to use game key cards in their games. But the language is not what people think. People think it's Nintendo published games that would not have key cards. That's not what Nintendo said. If you go over to this article on Nintendo Life and scroll down, it says, the exact quote is, we currently have no plans to use game key cards for Nintendo developed titles. Pokopia is actually made by Koei Tecmo. In case you guys weren't aware, that's the actual developer. It is not a Nintendo developed title. And even if it was made by Game Freak, Game Freak is not a Nintendo-owned studio, so that is not a Nintendo-developed title. So technically, this being a game key card does not mean that Nintendo is suddenly going to use game key cards on all their games. However, it does bring into question a bunch of games Nintendo does publish that are made by other companies. All of the Mario sports games, those are made by people like Camelot, besides Strikers. That was made by Next Level Games. Nintendo does own them, but Camelot is not owned by Nintendo. Those games could potentially be key cards here. That's what we're seeing. Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem is made by Intelligent Systems. We have Fortune's Weave coming next year. We do have to wonder, will that be a game key card? When we see stuff like this with a Nintendo title that they are publishing and calling a first-party title, need I remind you, they are calling Pokopia a first-party title in their financials. When you see this, you got to start wondering, hey, any game not made by Nintendo's own studios, could that be a key card if it's made by somebody else? We were thinking no, but now because of Pokopia, we got to start thinking, yeah, maybe. And just to show you, it is $70. I have said some stuff on social media already, and I'll just kind of repeat that here. I was never that interested in Pokopia to begin with, and then you throw a $70 price point and you make it a game key card. It really just kills any interest I had in the game. If it was more like a $40 game and physical, okay, maybe I picked that up, or $40, you know, when it gets its first discount or something, I might be willing to consider it. But I gotta also admit, I'm not the target audience for this game. You know, I think people that play like Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing or those games of that ilk, that's who this game is for. And I don't know how that community feels about Pokopia. Maybe, you know, $70 does feel like steep compared to some of those games besides Animal Crossing, which is also expensive. But maybe they'd be willing to buy it if they think it's worth it. That's the thing, is like, it's not my genre that I'm super into, but I definitely do not like what's happening here. And what I also don't like is comments by Reggie Fils-Aime. Now, look, Reggie Fils-Aime is allowed to say whatever he wants. He's retired. He's got a lot of thoughts on the Switch 2, and he did an interview recently, a really good interview, actually, with the Game Business Show. And one quote, couple quotes keep coming out, but one of the big quotes coming out from it is he's surprised we haven't seen more Xbox titles on Switch 2. Let's get to what he said, and I'll explain why. You know, sometimes, you know, you can tell Reggie Fils-Aime is quite disconnected from Nintendo. So Reggie Fils-Aime said a few things, and he says, I'm surprised that Xbox has not yet fully embraced Switch 2 from a software perspective. Certainly, some games could easily be ported over to the Switch 2. He even went more specific with his prediction, stating, I thought there would be much more, especially during this time frame leading into the holiday, all through the fall. I was fully expecting some dedicated announcement, and I'm surprised it hasn't happened. It's really, really interesting. And he also goes on to say he's, you know, disappointed, you know, with some stuff here. From a business perspective, when I first saw that lineup, I scratched my head a little bit. Come on, who honestly had Kirby Air Riders on their launch here bingo card. What I underestimated was the enhanced Switch 1 content, which I think has been compelling. The stuff you get for free as part of the Nintendo Switch Online subscription, I think that has helped drive some of the momentum, and they certainly, Bonanza was a key driver for them. He likes Bonanza, of course. What's really interesting, he goes on to talk about how he's actually been playing Tears of the Kingdom on his Switch 2. He had to buy one. He was not provided one, so he's been playing the Tears of the Kingdom enhanced stuff. And then he also said that he's got Metroid Prime 4 for Switch 2 on lockdown. He's going to be playing that next. He's always been kind of that sort of gamer. When you listen to him, he really loves Zelda. He loves Metroid. That's kind of where he puts a lot of his time into games. We knew this when he was president of Nintendo of America. I mean, that's why he was so endearing to so many Zelda fans. It's like, this guy loves Zelda. That being said, I want to just say something about his Microsoft support comments. This is how I know that he's not really talking to anyone he knows in the industry. We have found out that Microsoft only started getting dev kits this year. And with that being the case, expecting games to come out the same year you get dev kits, that's pretty far reaching. Now, you can say Nintendo should have gave them dev kits last year or the year before, but maybe there were some trust issues. Maybe there were some things with finalizing that purchase of Activision Blizzard King that maybe delayed some things. But we already have some announcements for next year. There's more announcements coming, lots of rumored games I'm not going to go over, but I think 2026, you're going to see quite the avalanche of Microsoft IP because they own so damn many of them getting announced for Switch 2, and it's because they actually have the dev kits and now are able to do so. But it's just a nice reminder that Reggie is not always fully connected anymore and is really disconnected himself from the industry in a way where he's just not using the contacts that he's probably built up because he probably doesn't feel like it's right. And I got to be honest, I got friends in the industry. I don't always ask them a bunch of questions either because I just don't feel like it's right. We're friends. We're not I'm not here to just pry information so I could build my YouTube career, right? So I get it. Reggie's respectful and just enjoying games as a fan. He said it himself. He's a fan now. He's not an insider. He doesn't know things. He's a fan. The things he knows were back before he left Nintendo, and everything that was relevant that he knew about is probably already released. All right. A cool announcement happened today. It's more of a teaser. It is for the 40th anniversary of Zelda. Realize what you're dealing with. We'll just full screen this. All you got to know here is this is teasing a Lego set for the battle from Ocarina of Time. You don't actually see Beast Ganon, but it's obviously what it's teasing is Beast Ganon, and it's coming in 2026, which is, again, the 40th anniversary of Zelda. This does add to the fervor around this idea that we could be getting an Ocarina of Time remake, potentially for the 40th anniversary, one that's been rumored to be in the works for a while, one that's been hinted at by Eiji Aonuma, one that seems to be building upon the fact that we got the Great Deku Tree. We got that Lego set, but that was, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, / Ocarina of Time. You could do either or. Now we have one that's just very clearly a reference to Ocarina of Time. Makes you wonder. It does make you wonder if this is somehow related to a greater marketing campaign for Zelda's 40th anniversary for a certain game, but we'll have to wait and see. Next up, this is where we have to talk about Pikmin 4 because the update's available now. It was posted over Nintendo of America. The free update for Pikmin 4 is available now. Snap some photos and find all the decor Pikmin and try out new creature activity levels and a free demo. This is obviously an update for Switch 2. But one thing I want to note here is some of the notes for this update. So we're going to go over to Nintendo Life for those notes. And it says, newly added gameplay. You can now choose from 3 different activity levels for creatures: relaxed, normal, and fierce. This is a difficulty setting. This can be changed at any time from the settings and options with the minus button. You can now take pictures with the field camera item and decorate them with stamps and frames. The field camera is added to your bag the morning of day 2. If resuming save data from before the software is updated, it will be added to your bag when you return to the rescue command post and morning arrives. Decor Pikmin will now appear in the story. To have Decor Pikmin join your squad after rescuing the Rescue Corps Ranger Dingo, use the field camera to take pictures of Decor Pikmin. By sharing the data of Decor Pikmin who have joined the squad in the full version of Pikmin 4 with the smart device application Pikmin Bloom, you can also get seedlings for those same Decor Pikmin in Pikmin Bloom. That's pretty cool. You can now use Rollover, in which you begin another playthrough, carrying over some of the save data for a file that has cleared the story. With save data present that has cleared the story, select an empty rescue database and file selection screen. If you have ever reached the morning of day 2 in the story, you may skip that introduction when playing again from the beginning. You begin from exploration day 2, in which you head to Sun-Speckled Terrace and creating an ID badge. There's new controls as well. You may switch between enabling and disabling auto-target lock-on for the cursor. You select either the cursor or the player avatar as a center point for the whistle. To set this as player avatar, when you begin the activity level, set to relaxed, but this may be changed at any time. You may now select either normal or precise for the speed of the arrow that appears when you hold down X to aim. All right, bug fixes. They fix other issues to improve the gameplay experience. This is all just really good. Nice of them to have this free update. I'm just really happy with it. You know what I'm also happy with? We have a brand new trailer for Monster Hunter Stories 3. It's called Twisted Reflection. We're going to go ahead and give this a watch because, my lord, this game looks better and better the more they show.
What a spectacular view! This land is truly blessed.
It is, for now. But the encroachment keeps affecting more and more of it. Blightstone Woods, just for one example.
Take heart. The fact that you've preserved as much as you have is something to be applauded. Sites like this are a forgotten memory for us in Vermeil.
If Vermeil is to survive, our people need help now. If nothing else, the Sacrosanctum offers them the hope they need to live. I will not idly sit on the throne as our nation faces its death.
This has to stop!
Oh, Eleanor.
What? Don't do this!
A sky scale. It has been many years.
That woman with the Rathalos. I'm certain she was my mother. Why did she come here? For what reason did she cross the Meridian?
You're not the only one here who's curious about Lady Amara.
The future of Azuria rests on your shoulders, and you sat yourself down right in front of an assassin. Are you out of your mind?
I know this is a lot to take, but just try to remember the old saying. Wings of curiosity take you farther than a cage of caution.
Has the encroachment truly caused so much destruction over there?
Scores of villages have been consumed by crystal. The capital is flooded with refugees, with nowhere to rest their heads.
Our village has long kept these canines as our wards. This is a threat to our very way of life. The dwindling of our canine population, the onset of feral beasts, all of it started when that monster came to this land. No, it would be more fitting to call it a force of nature.
This is it.
The living mountain, Yamatsukami.
All right, there you go, March 13th. And my Lord, how many games are coming in March? I swear, man, it is such a packed month for games. Absolutely incredible. You know what's also starting to get packed? How about Nintendo Music? That's right, music from Nintendo Switch. Kirby's Dream Buffet is now available on the music app. So there you go. You see 115 tracks, 4 hours and 57 minutes. So basically 5 hours of music. Never really realized they had 5 hours of tracks in that game. So there you go. Nintendo Music just keeps getting better. And we just have a really neat story here. I figured we should end on a fun note, given that, well, let's just be honest. Nintendo has created free money for all the grifters out there with the Pokopia news today. So let's have some fun here. Random, my comfort game. So Stranger Things, we know the final season is coming up here for Stranger Things, and Gaten Matarazzo is on his third playthrough from Tears of the Kingdom. I thought this was really cool. He said, it's just his comfort game. And he talks about things he likes about it, like, hey, he's not very good at the building aspects of the game, but he just, really likes it. It's just a comfort game for him on his third full playthrough. He doesn't talk about whether he's playing it on Switch 2 or not, but it doesn't really matter. I wouldn't be surprised if his latest playthrough is a Switch 2 playthrough, but he doesn't go into specifics on that. I'm just really, really happy to see that Zelda is a comfort game for more people than just myself. Because even to this day, like if I'm feeling really, really blue, I just turn on Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, and after a little bit, it kind of melts away. It's comfort food, and I like comfort food. Who doesn't? That's why it's called comfort food. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this beefy news video, guys. Hope you enjoyed everything, and if you made it to the end, be sure to boop that like button. And how about liking the videos, leaving comments, subscribing to the channel? We are on our road to 160,000 subscribers. We're like 150-ish away, so it kind of fluctuates every day. So hopefully we gain some subscribers today and we get even closer to our goal. Thank you so much. I'll catch you guys in the next one.